Hey, what is going on, guys? This is the SOS Ultimate Goku back with another video to do my Batman Cape Crusaders Episode 5 review. Oh boy. So this episode, I really like this episode. Um yeah, so this is the episode where we finally get Dr. Quinzel to basically be Harley Quinn, like in this episode. So we see in the beginning, a wealthy businessman, basically was like pretending that he was like a pharaoh, and he was just going crazy basically, and he had been caught, by Batman, and then eventually was incarcerated to Arkham Asylum, right? And it's found out that he had donated all his wealth. So that's why he has a public defender instead of, paying for it. You know what I'm saying? Himself. Um, Barbara, Barbara Gordon basically wants him to have a physical. And he mentions her friend, and that sharps a reality of the situation, because he eventually tries to get away and almost tries to off himself, but Barbara saves the person. Batman is also doing investigations into Dr. Quinzel, and he realizes that like she's been getting money from all these clients, these business owner clients that she is magically disappearing, or they're not, like, all their wealth is gone and whatnot. The one thing I will say, because this wasn't really explained, but it wasn't explained in this episode specifically, but the first business owner that we see that thinks that he's a pharaoh, we never really get why he was freed in this episode. Like, why was he specifically free? Like, did he escape? I guess he escaped. I guess it's implied at the beginning that, like, I guess he had escaped because he was pretending to be a pharaoh, right? Compared to like all the other business owners that were like, they were all dressed up in different costumes and stuff like that. But I'm guessing that was what is implied, is that he somehow escaped. But they never really kind of explained that well. I think in this episode. But anyways, so we see Dr. Quinzel doing a session with another business owner and going through stuff, and then after the session ends, then she traps him, and basically she basically puts this business person in a I guess a cell, her own cell basically, where all these other inmates are, and now she's dressed up as Harley Quinn. So the new Harley Quinn, or I should say not the new Harley Quinn, the version that's displayed in this continuity of Batman Cape Crusaders, is vastly different. And we talked about this from the concepts that, in the teasers that were going on. I did make a video on that. I did do a video with Jedi Bender about over a year ago now, talking about this. So we kind of knew where Harley Quinn it was going to be much different than being like a sidekick villain for Joker, and like the goofy Harley Quinn that we normally know. Here she is very, very serious, and She is much different. She is like kind of more of a main. I would say she's more of like a main villain than a sideshow in this, just from what they're displaying. Um, she is being depicted not in a funny manner. She's basically her basic mo is basically go up against the corrupt business owners that are basically not helping their workers and stuff like that, and forcing them to give away their wealth. That is what this version of Harley Quinn is being depicted as. Also, as I mentioned, and I know this is completely unrelated and completely coincidental, but being a Green Bay Packers fan, I have to always bring it up. The Green Bay Packers Harley Quinn. I know it's a coincidence, but I still think it's hilarious. um uh anyways, so the Green Bay Packers Harley Quinn over here, um, you know, is she's basically torturing the business owners and forcing them to sell their, or basically give up their fortune to charity. Basically, she had one of the clowns being tickled. The one person that we seen on screen that she captured was basically going to be attacked by another person in exchange to getting pudding. Because they wanted him to give up his wealth as well. So that's basically what's going on over here, basically. And it's kind of interesting how this was all displayed, because we did see, obviously, a couple episodes ago, we did see Bruce Wayne was mandated by the state to see her, which I guess this is why Harley Quinn wanted Bruce Wayne to be his actual patient, or her actual patient, after the mandated sessions, because obviously the state was paying for that, for those sessions, so that she couldn't really kind of trap him, or her operation would have been exposed. So then she was trying to have her as a regular. She was trying to have she was trying to have him as a regular patient, basically. So that's kind of what happened there, I guess, is what. Though, I guess that's what what the depiction of the 2 episodes ago was supposed to be like. But of course, Harley Quinn failed on that, so then she just moved on to other people, I guess. But while this is all happening, Barbara Gordon is actually investigating herself, because she wants to, and she eventually figures out that she believes that this is him. I should also mention, because I didn't mention this, but there was also a scene where Batman almost got caught by the police trying to investigate this stuff about Harley Quinn. But in doing so, the police and the corrupt detectives who are now trying to go after Batman are, trying to gain up on him and have him surrounded, but he uses his, devices, and basically is be able to outsmart the police and the task force and basically escape. While all this is happening, in the meantime, Renee, one of the detectives from the old task force, as we know, she goes out on a date with Harley Quinn, or Dr. Quinzel, which of course is cut short because of Harley Quinn's evil deeds, and she gets called to do this. There is quite a love scene that they do on their dates for people that are interested in that. that happened. Renee was kind of upset that Dr. Quinzel had to leave. Um, um, so they do display that. Um, the ironic thing about that, I'm is Renee is the detective in the series, but yet Barbara was the one that felt more like the detective in all this. Like Renee is like completely oblivious to what's going on. Like they make Renee completely oblivious to what's going on, which I don't really get. Like I felt like, I mean, we'll get to the end of the episode in a sec, but it really felt like Renee was completely oblivious to what had happened. I mean, Barbara's like her friend, like one of her good friends, like think like, hey, I witnessed all this stuff, like, and you're supposed to be the actual detective here. Like, what the fuck? But anyways, so that's what was all going on. Batman and Barbara meet up at where the but before Barbara goes there, she does talk to her father, Commissioner Gordon, and basically explains, her suspicions of someone. And he's like, you have to go with the truth. She then drives up to there. Batman's there. Batman's like, you stay here. And then Batman, like, uses his gadget. And Barbara's like, that's not fair. Barbara Gordon is like, that's not fair. And so then Harley Quinn is one step ahead of Batman and confronts Batman. He's like, I knew you would show up. When I profiled you for the cops, I knew you would show up. I knew you and your profile, you were perfect, that you would show up for this. And Harley Quinn eventually outsmarts Batman and traps, by, having all her patients attack him. He fends most of them off, but eventually is lured into the, cell that she has, and she puts him in there and knocks him out. And then she wants to blow the place up with Batman in there, which again, all the patients are freed, so I don't really get what she was thinking out of this. She did have an accomplice, which Barbara did try to, earlier in the episode, get information out of, but he wasn't telling her. So Barbara is using like a bat to try and free Batman, who's now knocked out. As she's about to do it, Barbara realizes that she's trying to save Batman, and then like freaking goes back to try and get her out of there with like a minute left. And she's like, no, I have to free him. And then when she tries to undo the cell, she's like, it won't work. You damaged it. You broke it. So basically, after this, the thing starts to crumble. The whole place starts to crumble down. And they're basically hanging on a thread. Harley's like just saying, let me go. I'm not going to jail for this or whatever. And Batman actually saves Barbara Gordon. And Harley Quinn falls into the water. The police come. Barbara's like upset, but Batman like tells her, what's going on. And basically, he basically says then after that he has to leave, and so he leaves. Barbara's upset. And that's it for that part of the episode. Then we see Dr. Quinzel calling Renee, and they had to call off their follow-up date that they had planned after she had to leave early. And then she said she had to temporarily leave Gotham. And that's how the episode ends. And that really, begs a big question mark for this episode is, again, why would Renee by now not know that Harley Quinn, Dr. Quinzel, is Harley Quinn? Like, like, or at least that's how. I mean, maybe in the future episodes, or maybe in the next episode, they're gonna explain it. I don't know, but at least from this episode, the way that episode ended, it just felt like why, she's a detective, so she should already know. Um, I mean, I guess maybe it's just the cloud because I mean, Detective Renee is a lesbian. Um, she kissed Harley Quinn. So maybe that's why. But the way this episode kind of depicts it, it kind of makes Renee like oblivious to everything that's going on. Which again, she's the detective of the series, right? She's like the main detective for Commissioner Gordon, right? So like you would think that she would know what's going on by now, especially since Barbara obviously witnessed, that it was that she was Harley Quinn, so she knows. Like by now, Barbara had to have let her know, like, hey, this is what she's doing, you know. So again, I didn't like the way they left this episode at. Um, I guess this might be just more of the romantic, I guess, ending, that they're going for because, Renee is kind of disappointed. But it felt more like she was just disappointed that the date was canceled more than about the fact that the person that Renee is in love with is, a criminal. You know, that's what it kind of feels like here, at least from the way this episode ended and was depicted. Um, I don't know, it might pick up in the next episode, but that's kind of how I see it in this episode. Um, you know what I'm saying? I think they should have done a little better with this. Um, because again, it comes off as Renee is just a detective that's oblivious to the situation, you know, and is just upset that someone that she's in love with is like leaving Gotham, rather than realize that the person who I'm in love with, you know, is crazy. um, that's kind of how I saw it in this. I don't know if other people agree or disagree, but that is the episode. Good episode nonetheless. I really am liking how this is picking up now. Like the first 3 episodes kind of felt out of place. As I said in the last episode. So not that they were bad episodes, it just felt like they were out of place. It feels like we're getting more into the structure of the story here. We got Green Bay Packers Harley Quinn, who, we know she's going to be back. I mean, she got to be back, right? I mean, like, you can't do like a story arc like that, and not have her back, especially since she's not going to jail like Penguin or, some of the, other people, right? So that's going to be something I think that's going to be more focused on for the remainder of the season. But overall, I liked it. And it's a good episode, I think. Make sure to comment, rate, if you like this video, my videos, please subscribe, hit the notification bell for the latest contents. Thank you, and that's what it gets. I am the S Ultimate Goku, and our peace. Also, make sure, besides my YouTube channel, to follow me on the Twitch, the Instagram, the Discord, the link in the description for all the various topics, including this one here. So make sure to check that out. And now I'm out. Peace.